maybe one more question regarding food.
Okay.
Because I know that in Taiwan as well as in the US now, I think there are more and more people that are into vegan or just at least plant-focused diets, vegetarian diets.
Yeah, it's popular.
I know it's kind of a controversial issue.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we know that there are a lot of nutrients that are animal-based that are essential.
Yep.
Yeah. So how do you approach that when they're individuals?
I think the biggest thing I start with is fat. Is that our body's need for good fat, and you can get some of that from coconut oil or olive oil, but it's just not enough. It's just not exactly what we need. So if you look at the body under a microscope, we're made up in such a way that we're more like an animal than we are a piece of broccoli. So you have to decide, do you want to be a vegetable or do you want to be a mountain lion? And so when we feed it foods that are more like an animal, it's more appropriate, bioavailable, and structurally like an animal. If you eat a broccoli, you're going to get some benefit, but the amount of absorption and the amount of bioavailability and all of that is just simply not there. A vegetable is incapable of giving your body the building blocks that it needs to make a liver or to create lungs. Like your liver is remade every 3 months. If you're just feeding it broccoli, a broccoli doesn't have a lung. It can't help that cell. And so you have to eat animal. And I think that the industry of meat can be quite bad. That's for real. The solution isn't growing more vegetables. That's just not the solution. So how do we eat healthy products? On both sides, to be honest. But if you're just eating vegetables and we're just talking about nutrients, it's not possible. It's not compatible in the same way. They make a list of all these fruits and vegetables that have all the vitamins and all these minerals and stuff. And that's great for themselves, but they're not accessible to us. And plants don't have B12, for example. Your body needs B12 for so many reasons. But it's a huge part of the immune system. And if a plant can't offer that, then some people do have to supplement. But again, unless it's from a animal source, it's not very useful for us. So you'll start to see, it depends on the individual's makeup, what their mom ate, what they ate as kids, that when they do become vegan, for example, how long they will be able to sustain themselves on that. There's a breaking point. I read this, one woman said that if somebody tells you they've been a vegan for 20 years, then don't believe them. Because at some point they will have to find nourishment somewhere. It seemed like a drastic statement, but some of the people that I've spoken to that have discontinued being vegan or vegetarian say that it almost had to become religion because they had to make themselves focus on it. And once they started to eat, like some of them started with fish, they're like, I suddenly felt like all my cells woke up and my brain woke up and I had energy for the first time in such and such a time. Sometimes it comes out in the form of anxiety or moodiness or brain fog. And you know, when you're not well for a long enough period of time, you stop realizing or stop knowing what it feels like to be well. And so you're like, well, I feel great. Their great is not great. Their understanding of great, they've reached maybe a point that's not actually healthy or not actually really great. So it's hard, you know, we think it is very important to take care of our environment. It's very important to take care of our animals and our agriculture, and all those things are very, very valuable. So it's not diminishing any of that perspective or that desire or that compassion, but understanding at a nutritional level, you cannot get what you need out of a vegetable. That's just just what it comes down to.
The bioavailability, the conversion of even like protein.
Exactly.
We absorb much more of the animal-based protein rather than the plant-based proteins. I know that like I've seen many cases in brain training. If you can give your brain the right kind of nutrient, you also respond and repairs much better. But if you you can do long sessions of neurofeedback, and your brain can try to wanna start to activate, but if you don't give it enough building block, it's still difficult, very challenging.
So that's something that you talk about when you do neurofeedback, or
generally I try to inform the clients to eat a certain way. Fats is critical. If you don't have enough fats, your brain just cannot work. And so so personally I've tried carnivore diet for a few months, and I got into it mainly to address my kidney stone. It's and because before we think eating tons of vegetables is great, so I was eating like spinach smoothie.
Yay, oxalates.
So I ended up having oxalate stones, right? So I went on a few months of carnivore. So what do you
what do I think of the carnivore diet?
The carnivore diet, kind of the other spectrum, the other end of the spectrum.
I think with the carnivore diet, it's important to eat nose to tail for all the vitamins and minerals. Liver is high in vitamin C, for example. Our bodies really do need a lot of vitamin C for our health. I think I do, depending on the health of the individual, would encourage some to try carnivore for 40 days. But most of my clients are women. So I'm a woman, and so I get women, and they're often the caretakers of their family. They're cooking, they're shopping for the family. So it's sometimes unrealistic to recommend the carnivore diet to them. So it's not because I don't think it's okay or that I think that it's not a good idea. I think it is. I think that a carnivore diet makes sense. I do wonder sometimes if it doesn't necessarily make sense all the time. Like all year long. I think that we are seasonal creatures as well, and then things that are in season, then we have different times in our body where we're doing different types of cleansing and different types of building. So I think all that can be a cycle. So you want to be carnivore for 3-6 months or whatever. It depends on the person. I think that's great, and there's a lot of health benefits to that. Again, if you're eating the whole nose to tail body, so you're getting all those nutrients. But just as far as running a family and talking specifically, like, okay, let's talk about healing your gut. Sometimes after the gut healing protocol, I would say, why don't you try doing carnivore now for whatever? Or why don't we try this or whatever? But it is something that I do get asked about, and like, how can you just eat meat and it's healthy? And it is possible. It is possible. It's just difficult to do with a family. That's what it comes down to. Which is why I don't wouldn't it be the first recommendation I would go to. If a person is very sick and a gut protocol doesn't do much for them, my natural bent would be to go towards carnivore.
Okay, that's interesting. Because ultimately for my daughter, she had, because of her overdose, her gut issue was just lingering. And it wasn't until she tried carnivore. So that's one of the reasons also why I got into it, because I told her, I'm going to try it first. And troubleshoot.
Wow.
And then you can try it.
Yeah.
And then she being in the States, much easier. We can
Sure.
order
Yeah.
meat.
You can drive to a
Very-
farm.
very
It's so
clean.
nice.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
get all grass-fed stuff, and you
Yep.
can order even organ meats and so forth. Yeah, so she actually feels the best in terms of her digestion
Sure.
on carnivore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it. Yeah. Yeah, there are times where I would say, why don't you try carnivore for a bit? But it is mostly for a family and a mom cooking for a family.
Yeah.
The gut protocol is way easier. And especially in Taiwan, I think, is difficult. And
Yeah.
expensive. If you should try to get a steak, it's like 5 times more than if you were living in New Zealand. I'm like, I don't understand why it costs so much from there to here. But
All right,
but that's
great.
interesting. 3 months? 3 months, you said, carnivore?
I was on it for more than 4 months, and then I started to add some fruit back.
Okay,
a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still mostly carnivore.
Mostly carnivore,
I hardly ever touch vegetables. Like I'm
Yeah.
like a social vegetable eater.
Yeah, right. Nice. Yeah, I'll eat broccoli for you. But
But once in a while, I'll add some fruit. I will add some honey.
Yeah.
And coffee is about the only thing that I'm consuming. That's plant-wise.
It's a
every
plant,
day.
sure. Has it helped?
I feel that, or the kidney problem definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because the doctor was saying, it's gonna take many sessions of those things blasting to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I ended up just doing one.
Okay.
And it was clear. It was clear.
Yeah. If you're not giving your body the stuff that makes it, you're not gonna have it.
Yeah, and then the other thing that is helping is, in fact, my physique, my energy. I always had a hard time building, but now I feel like I can actually build some muscle. Joints are feeling better.
Yeah. Were you a vegetarian for a while? No, just low fat.
Yeah. And also high sugar when I was doing triathlon training before I learned about
that's
this.
the worst.
So I was pre-diabetic, literally doing triathlon, doing Ironman.
Wow.
So you can't tell.
And what we do to ourselves, right? What we think is, I mean, those athletes, they will have a heart attack. And like, I don't understand. They were so healthy. Like, what does that mean? What does actually healthy mean to you versus what really is healthy? Interesting. Yeah.
And then Yaya went on it. And her number one issue really was the gut, her digestion. It was just never good.
And so no matter what you did for gut healing, it came down to carnivore, which is what, makes sense. Yeah. Cool. That's great.
My experience.
I think that I would like to try it. I like to do if I'm telling someone to try carnivore for 40 days, I should probably do carnivore for 40 days instead of just telling someone else to do it. But I need a freezer.
I actually feel that it's so easy because it's just right now, it's just Penny and I. We basically cook kind of for ourselves. And so I'm only cooking steak, which is super easy. And I feel like that's about the only meat that I can just eat a lot of. I cannot do a lot of chicken.
Well, chicken is harder on your body.
Yeah.
It is harder on the gut. Yeah.
And I cannot do a lot of pork either. I can do more pork than chicken. But beef is the only thing that I can just...
You could probably do lamb.
Oh, yeah.
Goat,
lamb is okay. Yeah.
So any of those animals that have the 4 stomachs or the rumen are the ones that will make a huge difference. Yeah.
That's right. Lamb and sheep are okay as well.
Yeah.
And even fish, I cannot eat too much fish.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like I don't want it anymore.
Even a salmon?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very interesting because
That's really interesting.
We eat a lot of Japanese things, sashimi. But still, I can only tolerate so much. And I know that's not enough protein, so I would still eat a steak.
Yeah, exactly. It's not enough. Wow, that's so interesting. Huh. I'll try it. I'm going to have to try it. I'll find your cow guy and then get carnivore 40 days.
And then the organ meats,
Organ meats, absolutely.
Kidneys, liver,
good.
You can get bones.
And that's the thing. You have to I believe if you're going to do carnivore, you have to eat the organs and the bone broth. You need all of that. If we just lost that, that's a very traditional food. When someone would go out and hunt a deer, they didn't just eat one part of it. They used the whole animal, and they kept the bones, and they kept every part of it for all of their needs, which is how we should do it. And it really, if we all did it that way, there would still be enough.
It's very nutrient dense.
Very nutrient dense.
Yeah, I'll show you where the stall is. You can get spleen, lung.
That's awesome.
Yeah, everything.
Is that the one by the train station? Yeah. Definitely. I would like to go and just buy like half of the cow.
Okay.
And then have a freezer, so I don't have to think about it. That's what we did in the States anyway.
Yeah.
I still have a frozen heart in my freezer in the States.
That's right, heart. You can get heart.
Yes. Have you had a cow heart before?
Yeah. So I usually go and just, if I don't call ahead, I just get whatever's left over, whatever they have. But you can call ahead and tell them to save you a heart, some liver, some lungs, spleen.
Cool.
Yeah, they got everything.
That's good. Nice. Yeah. All right. Ramping me up, Tim. Go give it a try. It sounds so barbaric, doesn't it? A little bit. From what we've kind of been taught. Eat your vegetables and fruit. Like, now I'm going to go have a liver. Like, oh, harsh.
Yeah, I can't believe how we used to eat before. It's,
Yep, me too. Even just starting, 15 years ago. Very different. Understanding more about the nourishment rather than just the carbs or just the calories. Those things are. There's so much more what that actually means than what I understood before. So I'm going to keep learning more too. So I'm excited. Yeah.